Welcome to another one of our sleep series sessions. Good to see you all here. Let's head into the chat box and just say hello and how your day is going so far. I'm excited to talk with you about sleep because I'm going to share a practice that is used to help us fall asleep. It's a skill that we cultivate that will help us fall asleep swiftly and kind of working with our mind as opposed to trying to just shut it down so that the mind isn't any longer an obstacle to sleep, but rather the body and the mind can become like a vehicle. You're including them and they're swiftly taking you easily into the state of sleep. We're going to be talking about that and then an underlying principle that I love to teach about as that pertains to what's happening in this process and when we cultivate this skill. Good to see you. So, as we all jump in, feel free to say hello in the chat box and prepare yourself for this session. So, put down anything else that you might be working on so that you can be really fully present and get the most out of this. This is a skill that, once practiced, becomes more and more familiar, and you become, like any skill, better at it. And so, giving it your full focus will ensure that you're getting it on a really deep level. And that when you return to do this skill, when you're going to sleep, that you'll have had a full experience of it, which will help. I'm glad that you're excited for today's practice. Would you drop into the chat box if you've been using the sessions that we've done in the past and how that's been going for you? I would love to hear if you've been using these exercises to improve your sleep at night. And if so, what is your experience? You could have the experience of it working really well. You could have the experience of it not working really well. I honestly want to hear all of it. And along those lines, I'm actually holding a Q&A period next Monday at 1 o'clock. It's like a webinar. It's only 30 minutes. And we're going to talk about the sleep skill that I've been sharing with you inside of this series. So if you wanted to have a more back and forth conversation about what it's doing for you or what some of your obstacles are with it, this would be a really great place for you to pop in and get some questions answered. Using it and it's working very well. Yes, been using them to go to sleep and to nap and have been sleeping better. That's great to hear. I use them when I wake up and it works to get back to sleep. That's a great application. I love that. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to drop this link here in the chat box. So if you do want to go deeper into this kind of discussion about the skill, this today will be more of an experiential practice, as I said, but you can always go to that link if you want to go deeper. Having a great experience using the deep sleep relaxation at bedtime before, and it was great. Nice. Nice. Good to hear. Yeah. And then if it doesn't work for you, this doesn't have to be, I don't want to only hear about the great experiences. I want to hear about it, how it's actually going for you, because it's complex. It's a simple skill, but it's very complex in its application. And so I want to help you troubleshoot that. I want to help you look at what's coming up and getting in the way of it being effective. So you're welcome to bring that as well. Okay, everyone. That being said, we're going to, in this session, learn to speed up the process of falling asleep intentionally and naturally by having a systematic method that prepares your nervous system for sleep. That's the focus of today. So I've been teaching a lot about sleep and mindfulness and stress, for over a decade now. And one thing that I've found that happens over time, and I just want to name it because you're here, you've shown up, and it's happening for you as you cultivate these tools and the skills to use the tools. So I'm just going to name what that overall process is that I see. And it's really that in life, there's a lot of ups and downs, right? There's a lot of things that we can get really affected by during the day, at night, all the time. What happens when we do our practice is that it's like we're expanding a container. If you think of your body as like a container, your whole being, and you expand it so that it's wider, it's more stable, it's more solid in some kind of other knowing that's not just wrapped up in what's good and what's bad and what happens and being swayed by the ups and downs. So within this wider container, the ups and downs still happen, but they're not the only thing. It's a broader, wider capacity. You could call it a resilience. I think of it more as an expansion. Like, okay, there's still struggle, there's still stress, there's still angst, but it's not the only thing. We become less automatically swayed, wrapped in the ups and downs. And that's really cool. That's what I see happen with students over time. And it's so amazing. I think it breeds a certain confidence and contentment. So, that being said, this skill is a meditation skill. I'm teaching you a systematic method that is rooted in a type of meditation called yoga nidra. I sometimes call it guided rest. Same thing. And what you're really doing is learning to expand your capacity. And the core underlying principle is, you might call it allowance, allowing, just allowing what's there to be there without being overwhelmed by it. And this is a difficult thing to wrap our mind around in the beginning, but the practice itself shapes that so that it's not really something to strive for, but it is something to know about, because as you practice, you're going to look back and go, oh, I see that happening. So it's like a signpost of progress, your ability to allow things to be there, because your container is so wide. If you think of that metaphor, it's limited, but metaphor, it's so wide and so broad that like the reality, whatever is going on in their body, mind, sensations, feelings, all of it can exist without any need to try to adjust it or change it, fix it or push it away. It's a welcoming, it's an allowing, and it doesn't mean that you're agreeing with it, condoning it, supporting it, accepting it, or succumbing to it, whatever it might be in that moment. But you have the capacity to allow it to be there. And that is huge. It's huge. So we're going to work with that principle of allowance. And, it doesn't take away our ability to react and act and be really effective in that acting or reacting. I mean, that's important. And this isn't going to take away our ability to do that. It's just cultivating the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin, that's an ability to surrender, allow, let be. And it's surprisingly really expands our capacity to manage our inner experience, which I think is what we confront when we go to sleep. What's my inner experience? We can avoid it all day long, but when we go to sleep, it's right there. So this skill is really cool in that it teaches that capacity in a little bit of a sneaky way while you're just doing the practice that will help you fall asleep. That's another one of its benefits. And the thing, the way that I see that benefit turn up in people's lives, like in my membership community, I just got off of a call with the accountability group that I lead in there. And I'm seeing that some of those students who've been practicing this regularly are like, they're just so much more content, able to withstand, able to have a more relaxed mind and not getting so wrapped up in this was my expectation and it didn't come to be. And it can come to very simple things, like taking a walk on a lunch break and having this hope that it's going to be this beautiful park experience. Maybe something happens and it wasn't, like allowing that. That's okay. That's okay. And not being so wrapped up in the disappointment. And that's a small example, but a practical example that was just given in my group. You can see this come out in your life. And we're using it to help us fall asleep, but it has these other benefits. Really cool. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to drop them in the chat box and I'll address those. Otherwise, let's practice. I love sharing with you a practice in these sessions that allows you to have a direct experience of that. Because it's an intellectual understanding and knowing that we can discuss, but it's more than that. It's like a body knowing. The skill is like less thinking about it and more feeling out that new ability, that new capacity, that new way. So please lie down. Please lie down and support yourself so that you're not having to hold yourself up at all. You can settle onto your back and bring your legs up on the support of a couch. Throw some pillows under your knees. Or just simply have your legs stretched long, heels slightly separated. You can place something underneath your head. Have your arms by your sides. With your arms by your sides and your palms turned up, that's a position of allowance. It sends a subtle message to your mind to start to let go. It's a very open position, and if it can feel like too much, then bring your hands onto your abdomen with your elbows bent. And that's a good position for your shoulders as well. Making any final adjustments so that you won't have to move. Becoming as comfortable as you can be right now. Settle in. Be aware of areas of tension. Make the decision now that you'll begin to let go. Letting go of everything you need to do, everything you should have done or said differently. Make the decision now that you will transition into rest. And have the intention to be simply effortless. Be aware that your body is resting. Allow your body to become more effortless. Slowly sinking into the support on which you're resting. Be aware of your body with a sense of allowing it to be as it is right now. Allowing as it is not easy. So we start with something more simple like the body. And this simple, easy way will take us all the way. Maybe later we can apply it to our minds or circumstances. Just let your body be as it is. Notice how your body is doing, how you are feeling. Then become aware of your left heel. Become aware of your right heel. You may find that you're able to feel more one side than the other. You may find that you have more sensation in one side or the other. Keep your focus on your heels and balance out the feeling. Focus there until you can feel both heels equally. Now do the same in your knees. Feel your left and your right knee. You may be able to sense one more than the other. The blood flow or sensation of that knee from the inside. Focus on both knees until you can balance the sensation. And you feel that your awareness there is equal in both knees. Now do the same in your hips. Left hip and right hip. Both hips. Just keep your sensation on your hip sockets. Your awareness there as the sensation builds. And balance it out so that you become aware of both hips equally. Do the same in your chest, left side of your chest, and your right chest or breast. You may have a very subtle feeling of one is more prominent than the other, or maybe both feel equal. Fix your attention there until you become aware of sensation in both equally. Shoulders, left shoulder socket, right shoulder socket. Balance them out. Ears, left and right. Focus until you perceive both ears equally balanced. Eyes, and inner ears. Perceive left and right inner ears and balance between the two. Your whole body. Allow it to be as it is. Becoming effortless by the moment. Be aware of your breathing happening. Abdomen soft. Be aware of the quality of your breath in. Breath in is rejuvenating, gently strengthening, building. Breath out is softening, calming, letting tightness and constriction drain out with each breath out. Abdomen gently rising and falling. Have the sense that each breath out disperses your thoughts and they begin to dissolve. Begin to breathe intentionally into your abdominal area, shaping your breath. Breath in, belly rises. And breath in, it softens. Throughout this breathing practice, keep shaping your breath smoothly and if possible for a rhythm of 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please continue. Be aware that you're using your mind to shape your breathing into this rhythm. And you are using your breathing to shape your mind into a state of ease and allowance. Please adjust the count if you need so that your breathing is not straining, smooth as possible. Continue to refine your breathing and sense that you're gradually becoming more present. 2 more times, please. In for 6, out for 6. Continue to shape smooth abdominal breathing. Now you'll begin to slow down your out breath. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Smooth, continuous breath in. Slow down out breath. Please continue a few more rounds, mentally counting to yourself on the flow of the breath. Sense the mind becoming increasingly calm, the body softening. Gradually moving to the next stage. Here you'll pause after your in-breath for as many counts as 4. And then out for 8. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue and adjust the pattern so you're avoiding any strain. Continuing to guide body and mind toward deep rest. In this phase, your out breath is double, twice as long, and slower. Do this gently so that you're not pushing or forcing. As you pause, allow your mind to pause in a moment of pure nothingness and silence. Finally, an opportunity to extend the pause. As many counts as 4. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do the best you can to sustain this rhythm. Remain as effortless as possible. Sense how the body and mind continue to move ever closer towards sleep. An inner silence starting to dawn. Please continue for a couple more minutes. Be effortless now. Let your breath settle into an easy rhythm. Effortless body breathing itself now. Be aware of your body sensations. Some familiar, some unique. Continue to rest into effortlessness and be aware of sensation. Total stillness and ease in your body. Your mind can rest too. Choose consciously that in this moment you'll hold on to nothing. Become aware of a point between your ears and behind your eyes. the center of your brain. Just a sense of presence, your attention inside that point. And allow that area to be as it is in this moment. Do the same in the center of your throat. Cultivate awareness and allow it to be as it is there. Your right shoulder joint, right elbow joint, right wrist, tip of your right thumb, pointer fingertip, middle fingertip, ring fingertip, little fingertip, wrist, be effortless, elbow, shoulder, center of throat, left shoulder as it is, left elbow joint, wrist, tip of your left thumb, pointer fingertip, middle fingertip, ring fingertip, be at ease, little fingertip, wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of throat, chest, be effortless, abdomen, deep inside your body, pelvis, right hip joint, right knee, right ankle, as it is, tip of your right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth, ankle, knee, hip, center of pelvis, deeply embedded inside. Allow this part of your body to be as it is right now. Left hip joint, left knee, ankle, tip of your left big toe, second toe, third, fourth toe, be at ease, fifth toe, ankle, knee, hip, center of pelvis, center of abdomen as it is, chest, throat, center of your brain. All those points at once. Be aware of all of those points at once. And allow those points to be as they are right now. And all the space between those points. Be aware of your quiet, subtle, soft breathing. You've settled into deep rest with a trace of awareness remaining as the effortlessness of subtle breath moves through. Deepen your breathing. Each breath in a little deeper, a little longer. Sense that your breath in is revitalizing and filling your body with energy, vitality. Continue to breathe deeply and feel that your skin expands to include all the sensation, all your inner experience. Getting a taste of the freedom and the sense that you can hold all of that. Another deep breath. Begin to stretch your jaw open. If you want, you can stick out your tongue. Stretch the base of your tongue all the way out. Take a deep breath or a sigh. Squeeze your eyes and open them. And slowly return to your normal waking state. Take your time. So I just want to share in the comments, I see someone said, I see myself being more at ease, flexible, and with an ability to flow versus resist. So that's brilliant. So well put, Jane. Can you sense that right now? Just more ability to flow versus resist. This practice can help us become so resilient and be able to handle this. It's so comforting to have a tool that allows us to be with what's going on and not be overwhelmed by it. And to cultivate the capacity to allow it to be there. To let that be over and over again as the present reality. Doesn't matter we like it, it doesn't mean we like it or that we're not going to try to act and change something in our lives. But this is one of the most valuable skills that I know. So I'm honored to share it with you. And thank you for being here. Thank you, Center for Mindfulness. We have another series next week. I will see you then.